Once upon a time, in Greek mythology, there was a great hunter named Orion. He was so confident in his abilities that he boasted he could kill any animal on earth. However, his audacity eventually angered Artemis, the goddess of the hunt and wildlife. She sent a giant scorpion to kill Orion, which led to his demise. Despite his tragic ending, Orion's hunting skills were still admired. This led to the creation of the Orion constellation, which depicts him holding a club and a lion's hide. The stars that make up his left shoulder, Betelgeuse, represent the club, while the three evenly spaced stars that form his belt make up the lion's hide. Orion's belt, which is easily visible to the naked eye, is a prominent feature of the night sky. Another notable star in the constellation is Rigel, which has a luminosity almost 40,000 times greater than our Sun and is located at Orion's left foot. Betelgeuse, a red star at Orion's right shoulder, is one of the largest and most luminous stars known. Because of its prominence in the constellation, astronomers study it in detail. All in all, the Orion constellation is a fascinating part of human history that continues to captivate stargazers to this day. Once upon a time, there was a brave warrior named Orion. He was known throughout the world for his hunting skills and was often referred to as the mighty hunter. One day, while exploring the vast celestial sphere, Orion stumbled upon a constellation that would soon become his home, the constellation of Orion. Orion's new home bordered Taurus, Eridanus, Lepus, Monoceros, and Gemini and covered an area of 594 square degrees, making it the 26th largest constellation among the 88 constellations in the celestial sphere. Its boundaries were defined by a polygon of 26 sides, located between the coordinates of 4 hours 43.3 minutes to 6 hours 25.5 minutes right ascension and 22.87 degrees to minus 10.97 degrees declination in the equatorial coordinate system. The International Astronomical Union adopted ORI as its three-letter abbreviation. As Orion settled into his new home, he noticed that his constellation was most visible in the evening sky from January to April, which was winter in the northern hemisphere and summer in the southern hemisphere. In the tropics, the constellation could be seen when it transited at the zenith. However, during May to July, Orion was invisible in the daytime sky at most latitudes. Nevertheless, in the southern hemisphere's winter months, stars could be seen at twilight for a few hours around local noon. Orion was not visible in Antarctica during the southern hemisphere's summer months as the sun did not set at that time of year south of the Antarctic Circle. Orion was pleased to know that close to the equator, his constellation appeared overhead in December around midnight and in the evening sky in February. That meant his constellation was visible and shining brightly for all the world to see. And so, Orion settled into his new celestial home, content to be the mighty hunter of the constellation that bears his name. Orion, the legendary hunter, is a prominent constellation in the night sky and has fascinated people for centuries. Apart from being a popular figure in Greek mythology, it is also a valuable tool for locating other stars in the sky. The three stars that form the belt of Orion are particularly important in this regard. By extending a line southeastward from the belt, you can spot Sirius, the brightest star in the night sky. Similarly, if you move northwestward from the belt, you'll find another prominent star called Aldebaran. Additionally, drawing an imaginary line eastward across the two shoulders of Orion will indicate the position of Procyon, another significant star. At the same time, following the line from Rigel through Betelgeuse, the two brightest stars that form Orion's feet and shoulders, points to two twin stars Castor and Pollux. Rigel is part of the winter circle asterism and is one of the vertices of the winter triangle, which includes Sirius and Betelgeuse. Both Procyon and Sirius are points in both the winter triangle and circle. They can also be located from Orion by following imaginary lines. It's worth noting that Orion is not only fascinating and beautiful to look at, but it's also a useful guide for exploring the night sky. So the next time you gaze upon the stars, locate the mighty Orion and use it as your guide to discover the surrounding sky. Once upon a time, there was a young boy named Orion who lived in ancient Greece. Orion had always been fascinated with the sky and spent many nights stargazing. He often dreamed of becoming a great hunter and one day hunting down the most dangerous creatures in the world. One evening, while gazing at the stars, Orion noticed a pattern in the sky. It was a group of stars that formed an hourglass shape, and he had never seen anything like it before. Curious and excited to learn more, Orion asked the elders of his village about the stars. They told him that the constellation was called Orion, named after a great hunter in Greek mythology. They went on to explain that the constellation consisted of 7 of the brightest stars, forming a distinctive pattern. 4 stars made up the roughly rectangular shape, with the 3 stars of Orion's belt at the center, Rigel, Betelgeuse, Bellatrix, and Saiph being the stars. Another bright star, Mysa, marked Orion's head as the 8th star. The smaller line of 3 stars, known as Orion's sword or the hunter's sword, descended from the belt. Orion was thrilled to have learned so much about the stars and spent every night studying them more closely. He wanted to be able to identify every star in the sky and name them all. As he continued his stargazing, he learned that most of these stars are luminous, hot, blue supergiants making up the Orion OB1 association. Betelgeuse, however, with its red hue, stood out and was thought to be a runaway member of the same group. Years passed, and Orion became the greatest hunter of his time, but he never forgot his love for the stars. He would often tell stories of the constellations to his children and grandchildren, passing on his knowledge and passion for astronomy. Today, the constellation of Orion is still recognized as one of the most beautiful and distinctive patterns in the night sky, thanks to the curious and inquisitive mind of a young boy who once dreamed of hunting the most dangerous creatures in the world.
Do you want to explore more Greek mythology stories? Who do you want to see featured next? Subscribe and leave a comment below to let me know. I'll see you in the next video.